I want to start on North Carolina because I think that is the much bigger story here. I teased it before we left. North Carolina's on track to make history this season, something that's never happened before. In the 60-14 era, dating all the way back to 1985, a team that was ranked number 1 in the preseason has never missed the NCAA tournament before. There have only been 2 times in 37 NCAA tournaments where the preseason number 1 team did not get a top 4 seed. Do you know who they were?
No.
UConn in 2000, the year after they won their first title, preseason number 1 ended up as a 5 seed. Kentucky, 2014, they were preseason number 1 when everybody thought they were going to go undefeated. Well, when Dan Dockich thought they were going to go undefeated and everyone called him an idiot for it.
Yeah.
But that was like the Julius Randle, Harrison twins as a freshman. 2014, they were an 8 seed. They made it to the national title game.
Okay.
This North Carolina team right now, 0-9, quad 1 games. Their best win at home, North Carolina State. That's the only win they have over a team that ranks top 50 in the net. Goodman. I don't even know what to say about it anymore.
All right, so here's my deal. I was very skeptical last year, if you remember, a year ago when they hired Hubert Davis. Right? I had said publicly I thought Wes Miller would be the better fit. Everybody thought I was kind of, well, I don't know if everybody thought I was crazy, but then Hubert comes out of the gates and they're struggling for 4 months. Right? November, December, January, February. They are as mediocre can be. They're like a 10 seed. March 5th, everything changes. They beat Duke. They go on a run for a month. 4 mediocre months, 1 good month. Really good month. So then, we're all like, all right, preseason, you got to rank it. They got everybody coming back other than Brady Manick, but they put in Pete Nance. Well, you know what? Let's throw them at 1 because on paper they look the part and maybe they'll pick back up. They've had how many more mediocre months, Rob? November, December, January, February, 4 more. So now they've had 8 mediocre months and 1 good month. What does that tell you?
They're not very good.
Correct. I think now we can say that last March was probably the anomaly. And the other 8 months were probably more of what they really are.
Here's where I would push back. Because on paper, right?
Yep.
On paper, they are good enough to be a top 5 team in America.
Sure.
If we're talking strictly talent, take away all personalities, take away interactions, take away everything else. You got a backcourt of Caleb Love and RJ Davis.
Yep.
You got a lockdown guy, Leaky Black. You got a dude in Pete Nance who should, in theory, be a really good role player. You got a guy who we all thought was going to be a first-team All-American, Armando Bacot. To me, the issue is not the talent. To me, the issue is managing the personalities in that locker room and keeping everybody liking each other, keeping everybody friends, keeping everybody playing
defense. How about
defense.
just having some energy and emotion and all that?
Here's the stat more than anything else. This is the thing that stands out to me more than anything else. More than anything else with this group. North Carolina State today had 1 turnover before garbage time. 1 turnover before the walk-ons were in. A single turnover. And the way that NC State plays, they want to get up and down. They have a lot of possessions. They make a lot of risky passes.
Listen.
1 turnover.
Yeah, I mean.
They don't want to guard. They don't want to play. They don't want to play together.
So here's my question. I'm going to throw it back at you. If you are Bubba Cunningham at Carolina, at what point do you start to reevaluate Hubert Davis, who's the nicest human being in the world? And he had 2 of the best wins in Carolina's history in a way, right? I mean, obviously national championships aside, when you beat Coach K at Cameron in his final home game, that's like a bucket list one. And then you beat Coach K in his final game at the Final Four.
In the words of Shammond Williams, you ended the rivalry.
Right. You ended the rivalry, but, like, how long does that last?
So I think you give him 1 more year. At this point,
So there's pressure on him.
Yes.
You're saying there's pressure next year.
I think that they're probably.
I mean, if they're bad.
If you if you become the first coach ever to have a team go preseason number 1 to not making the NCAA tournament, how can there not be some kind of pressure?
And it's Carolina.
And it's not.
You're coaching in Carolina.
If Armando Bacot got hurt and RJ Davis got hurt,
right? None of that.
Else got
none of that.
Hurt,
no,
like that's stuff out of your control.
And you've got guys sitting on the bench that are highly rated, like Seth Trimble. Here's really good.
Here's my thing. You have some guys that there's talent there that is not the guys that came back to school, right? You're North Carolina. You got some big time recruits coming in, right? where the issues are in that locker room by now. If you're Hubert Davis, you can change those issues. You can shuffle on the ones that need to go, and you have a chance to kind of change the culture and the how well people get along in that locker room. See if you can fix that.
I
Give
just
them 1
think
year to try it. And
maybe,
look, I'm
maybe
not.
it's because I'm a pessimist at heart, but the more I watch Hubert and I'm like, you can't be this positive. This can't be good for the team. Like, drop an F-bomb. Drop a damn F-bomb, Hubert, because this team needs it. They need something right now to motivate them, something to get them going, because right now it just doesn't. They're listless again. They're listless. They just look like
I don't think that it's coming. I think that I think that it's gone. I think it's over with for this thing. I don't think that I don't know how
they're not coming back from this.
I don't think you're coming
I
back.
mean, you've lost what? What have they lost? 5 of the last 6?
Yes, I think because
I mean, in the most important time with your backs against the wall, you're going to lose 5 of 6.
more than anything else, I think that they've kind of accepted. There was one play I was watching it. I had it on the laptop when we were watching the Purdue game, and RJ Davis. There was a turnover. North Carolina State's coming down. It was in the first half, and RJ Davis had a chance to try to make a play on the ball and stop a layup, commit a foul, take a charge, do something, and he just kind of pulled up.
Let him go.
And let the dude. It was Casey Morcell. Let him go in and take a layup, and that said everything to me. I think that it's over. To get into the tournament right now, if you're North Carolina, I think you have to win out
3 or 4. I think 3 or 4, and then doing something in the ACC
3
tournament.
or 4 is not going to get it done.
Well, if you beat Duke and Virginia, it would be.
Yeah,
you got to win both those. I know they haven't won a quad one all year.
They don't have a quad one win.
I know.
You're going to have a quad 2 or 3 loss added to it.
They're not flipping the switch this year. No. You can't just flip the switch twice. Not going to happen.